There are restaurants in the upper level too, which give you a bird's eye view of this cavernous terminal. The floor-to-ceiling windows give plane spotters a real treat.
On a quiet September day in 2023, the sound of travelers filled the busy halls of Los Angeles International Airport. Parents walked with their children to get their bags, business people rushed to their next stops, and planes came and went as usual. For musician David Ryan Harris, it was meant to be just another day, flying home with his two young mixed-race children. But the normal trip turned into something no one could have expected. Imagine stepping off a plane, holding your children's hands, only to find yourself surrounded by police, accused of a horrific crime, trafficking your kids. The accusation wasn't based on evidence, but on assumptions about your appearance. This isn't a script from a drama. This happened in real life to David Ryan Harris. What went wrong that day? How could a father's love for his kids be mistaken for a crime? And what does this incident say about the deep biases still lurking in our systems? From a humiliating airport confrontation to a national conversation about race and prejudice, this is the story that didn't just spark outrage, it forced us to confront uncomfortable truths. Get ready, because the story you're about to hear will change the way you see the world around you. Before getting into what happened at the airport, let's get to know David Ryan Harris a little better. Harris is more than just a musician. He's a legend, known for his soulful voice and masterful guitar skills. He has been making music for over 30 years and has built quite a name for himself. As a guitarist and singer, he has worked with some of the biggest names in music. He has been touring and recording with John Mayer for over 20 years, recording and touring with Dave Matthews, with whom he has shared the stage around the country. His work with Santana adds to his reputation as one of the best out there. But music is only a part of his life. At home, Harris has 5 children. He is very involved in their lives, from homework to taking them on tour when he can. On his social media, he often posts about daily life with his kids, showing everything from breakfast time to bedtime stories. He talks openly about both the fun and hard parts of being a dad. Due to his music work, Harris splits his time between Atlanta and Los Angeles, so he and the kids have regularly traveled back and forth. That's what they were doing in September 2023. It was the same family, the same routine of travel, packing bags, going through security, and boarding their plane, as would be done on any other trip. None of them could have known that this particular journey would be different from all the others.
When they got off the plane, 4 police officers were waiting for them.
Apparently, a flight attendant had called ahead with some sort of concern that perhaps my mixed children weren't my children.
The trouble began as Harris and his 2 sons got off their plane at Los Angeles International Airport. By the time they reached the gate, they found airline staff and police officers waiting for them. The flight attendant had called security because she thought Harris might be trafficking his own children. Her reason? She said the children didn't talk much during the flight. Harris told his story online. His sons were just tired from traveling, which is normal for kids on long flights. Both boys had fallen asleep on the plane, something that happens with most children during flights. But instead of seeing this as normal behavior, the flight attendant saw it as suspicious. The police took Harris away from his children to question him. They asked him many questions about who he was and if the children were really his. At the same time, other officers spoke to his sons separately, asking them about their relationship with Harris. The children had to answer questions about their father while being surrounded by strangers in uniform. The questioning went on for some time. Harris had to show multiple forms of ID and proof that he was the children's father. He had to explain his relationship with their mother, where they lived, and details about their family life. All of this happened in the public space of the airport, with other travelers walking past and watching. During this time, his sons were kept apart from him. They had just woken up from their flight, were in an unfamiliar place, and now found themselves being questioned by police about their dad. The whole incident lasted longer than the flight itself. The airport staff also searched through their luggage and checked all their travel documents. They contacted the children's mother to verify Harris's story. Even after getting confirmation from her, they continued to ask more questions and check more details before finally letting the family go. This was a long process that caused the family to miss their connection to their next flight. they had to rebook their travel plans and wait even longer at the airport after the questioning was over.
American Airlines responded to our request for more information on their human trafficking policies with a statement saying in part, "The safety and security of our customers and team members are our top priorities. We strive to create a positive, welcoming environment for everyone who travels with us and apologize for any misunderstanding that may have occurred. A member of our team has reached out to the customer to learn more about their experience and address their concerns."
After Harris's story spread online, American Airlines apologized. They admitted that their flight attendant was wrong to suspect trafficking, and they were sorry for hurting Harris and his family. The airline promised to do better, but many people said apologies weren't enough. Harris accepted the airline's apology and emphasized the need for better training and protocols to prevent similar incidents in the future. He also initiated a petition advocating for mandatory identification checks for children traveling with parents to help mitigate misunderstandings and ensure the safety and dignity of all passengers. Airlines have taken some steps to address these problems. American Airlines started new training programs about bias in 2023. Delta Airlines began working with human trafficking experts to improve their guidelines, while United Airlines updated their policies about when staff should report suspicious behavior. But many say these changes aren't enough. Organizations working on this issue say airlines need to train all staff about different family types and racial bias. They should create clear rules about what real trafficking looks like and make sure staff know how to handle situations without calling the police right away. These groups also want airlines to keep track of these incidents and share the data publicly. They suggest airlines should work with families who have been wrongly stopped to improve their policies, have outside experts review their training programs, and set up a quick process to handle mistakes when they happen. The real numbers of these incidents aren't public because airlines don't have to report them, but news stories and social media show they keep happening to families of different races and backgrounds. Imagine a world where keeping people safe doesn't mean making wrong assumptions. A world where we can protect everyone while treating them with respect. This is what we need to work toward. Harris's story has grown bigger than just one incident. On social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram, more than 10,000 people have shared times when they were wrongly suspected because of their race. Many told stories about traveling with their children or family members of different races. Parent groups and mixed-race family organizations have joined in, sharing guides about what to do in similar situations. Civil rights groups like the NAACP and other organizations working for racial equality have used Harris's experience to push for change. Local and national news outlets keep covering this story. They're following up on what changes airlines actually make and whether similar incidents still happen. Government travel agencies have also started looking into how often these cases occur and what can be done to prevent them. The conversation has spread to other areas too. Schools, businesses, and public places are using Harris's story to talk about how they can keep everyone safe without unfairly targeting anyone. For Harris, the experience was deeply painful. In his social media post, he shared how it felt to have to prove that his children were his. "This isn't just about me," he wrote. "My kids were scared and confused. No child should have to go through that." His words spoke to many others who've been judged unfairly because of how they look. The impact went beyond just that day at the airport. His children, who had always felt safe with their father, suddenly found themselves watched and questioned by police. Harris had to explain to them why this happened, a conversation no parent wants to have with their young kids. Research shows these kinds of stops affect people in long-lasting ways. Children who experience such events often struggle to trust police and authority figures later in life. They might feel less safe in public places and worry more about traveling with their parents. Many start to question if they truly belong in their own community. The incident sparked conversations among other mixed-race families who shared similar stories. Many parents came forward about their own experiences of being stopped, questioned, or treated with suspicion while traveling with their children. Some even started carrying their children's birth certificates whenever they traveled, just in case. For Harris's children, what started as a regular trip home became a moment that changed how they see the world. While the police encounter lasted only minutes, the questions it raised about identity, family, and belonging would stay with them much longer. This story is personal for so many reasons. It's about a father's love for his children and the lengths he had to go to protect their dignity. It's about a society that still struggles with deeply ingrained biases. And it's about the power of speaking out. Harris's courage in sharing his experience reminds us of the importance of holding institutions accountable. It's not just about one incident. It's about creating a world where no family has to endure this kind of treatment again. So, what can we do? First, we need to amplify stories like this. Share this video, spark conversations, and demand change from the organizations we trust to serve us. Second, let's educate ourselves about human trafficking and the real signs to look for. And third, let's push for systemic reform to ensure that anti-trafficking measures are rooted in fairness and effectiveness, not prejudice. Together, we can turn moments of injustice into opportunities for change. Let's honor David Ryan Harris's courage by making sure this story doesn't fade away. Let's make sure it's the start of something bigger. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this shocking story, so don't forget to leave a comment below. What do you think about how this situation was handled? And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and click that bell icon so you'll never miss another story that challenges the way we see the world. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember, change starts with awareness.